Back again with the El Camino. Hoping to get the windshield in this week, but I don't think that's going to happen because it's back in the 30s. That glue doesn't like that temperature. But we got a present today. Actually got a couple of presents, but anyways, let me bring it in closer here. Show you what we got. So this is our new package from Retrosound. So I was gonna put the CB style radio from the Cadillac in here, but my other one that I had rebuilt 10 years ago is giving me grief again. It still doesn't have Bluetooth. I mean, it did, but it doesn't now. Anyways, I've always wanted to try one of these, so we're gonna try it. So when you go on and order one of these, you put in your car, make, model, everything, and it spits you out a packing list for these components. So this is, they call it a motor. I don't like that they call it a motor. I don't like people that call engines motors. But this is the, and we got instructions. This is the brains of it. Then you have your face unit. Somewhere in here are the control knobs. Maybe they're in with this. Let's see. So you get to pick. Obviously, there are a bunch of these with different options, different outputs, different amps. I just needed a stereo with Bluetooth that worked and got radio. I didn't need an amp. We're not putting subs in here. Okay, so here's the arms. Here's your control arms. And this is made to fit a variety of dashes because of how adjustable these control arms are. And then here is your faceplate. I did chrome and black. Good clicky textile feedback here. Trim piece, knobs, wiring, brackets. So I am going to do the first couple steps of this. Get this kind of ready to put behind the dash. And then we'll go from there. I haven't looked up any of the colors yet where we're hooking in. I only have 2 of the speakers, and the ones that are going in the door aren't in yet. So let's start with some assembly required and go from there. See how she fits, which is hopefully good. And then we'll get to wiring. Obviously, you can crimp these. I'd like to solder them, but I'm also kind of getting beyond that in my old age. I would guess this is speakers. Yep. This must be power, and this is what goes in between the two. Let's get this assembled, get it stuck in the dash, and then we'll start some wiring. Here she is, all assembled. So I lined those dimensions up with the spots in here. That's a extra brace on the back. And then this piece goes in here. I had to just kiss that side with a file to get it to go in, but should be good. I'm thinking I'm gonna mount this and then figure these out once it's mounted. You almost kind of have to. This is the only one that'll be tricky. So, anyways, it might not even be that tricky. We still have a schematic on the roof, so. All right, let's put this in. I've been fighting this for a while because I was trying to get that light working, which just seems to be an issue with this switch. So that needs fixed. And now my dash lights aren't turning on. So I've been down here testing fuses and what a pain. They were all working. like a half an hour ago. And then I was troubleshooting this. So what I did was, this was the actual radio plug I pulled down. I didn't want to cut it off. It's tied into that. This was already cut, and this is at constant power. So that was the only one I spliced into. Obviously, these are our radio, and the antenna plugs right in. We won't have antenna until we put the windshield on, but I think now, watch my dash lights work too. Negative, but woohoo! So I obviously have to figure out all the buttons. I was picking something up. Wow, Ultimate Classic Rock. Wow, okay. So it's getting something. So, that being said, I don't want to put this whole dash back together until I figure out the stupid dash lights now. I thought they were tied to this, because this went out, and the radio wouldn't work when I hooked it up, and the dash lights all went out. Oh wait, they weren't turned on. They still don't work, but. And sometimes my headlights work when I pull it out, and sometimes I have to fiddle with this switch, which tells me I might need another one of these switches. I might as well just get one. How expensive is a dang floor switch? Anyways, let's maybe hook up the speaker side. See what happens. And then we gotta put these ones in the door. All right, we're on the other side now. What a hassle the electrical system in this car has been. Nothing to do with this radio. But the fuse panel down there, it's like it's been underwater. And I was trying to chase these dash lights forever and replace the fuse and all this other nonsense, only to figure out that the connections in the fuse block are just loose. So we gotta fix that, replace that. These door switches are wonky, so I had to order some of those. And the power source I had for this radio wasn't working, so I have this strung through the car to the battery. We got that figured out. Then we hooked the speakers in, and we had no speakers at all. Turns out this speaker for the B pillar on the passenger side is shorted to ground. So that took forever to find out, because I couldn't even get this one here to work. It was putting itself in protected mode. But we got it working. We got Bluetooth hooked up. So now, oh, and the turn signals now don't work for some reason, so cool. Put that on the list. So now we need to find a correct power source. We need to take the other speaker out of the back. This one, fix it. We need to wire these speakers into the door and get those done. And then after that, I don't know. We'll figure something out. I guess put this dash plate on. I don't think the issue with the turn signals is behind there. It's down somewhere else. I did test it, and whenever you flip the switch, the stock, it turns. It sends the right signal down there, so I don't know what's going on, folks. One step closer, but at least I can listen to tunes in here now as I'm working on it. So this original radio plug, this is the original radio plug, I double checked the colors, is only ignition on. So it's yellow is ignition on, black is ground, and gray is illumination. Now it didn't need a constant power because they were mechanically actuated presets like the Corvette has. So it just kicked on with the ignition. These need constant 12 volts to keep your Bluetooth and your presets and all that clock. So this was one I was trying to use, And I don't know exactly what it is. This is the orange I thought it was. I don't know what this one is, but it is not constant. So what we did was, they have accessory additions over here. So I jumped into the accessory edition that is pure battery. We'll get this all tidied up here. Now we still need to fix these speakers for the one that isn't working, and fix the turn signals, but that's another project.
Agreeing to speak with a researcher or undergo
Well,
a polygraph test.
we got it.
Beyond that, we avoided interviews.
I've got a podcast on because otherwise they'll knock this off if I put on music. But she's in. I put one zip tie down there to hold the wires in. Still need to do, I gotta put the screws in here. Still need to get the turn signal, but everything is working.
His case remaining obscure outside his home state. That was until researchers began linking his account to another strange.
So this is
series of
Bluetooth
events.
off the phone right now.
Wyoming resident.
Let me see, I can't remember how to get to radio. There we go. There's radio. It had some station. Aux, which I don't have hooked up, and Bluetooth. Obviously presets and stuff, I haven't figured them out. But all in all, it's very clean. It looks good. They give you a lot of options, and there's a lot of options for how to do it the right way, how to do it the wrong way as far as what you're hooking into. I'd say mine's probably 90% right with hooking it, into the old radio controls. And I ran grommets through the doors. I ran this beautiful, I showed it in the other photos, speaker wire with Teflon, and it's shielded. I'd used it on my boats before, and I ran out, so this side had to get regular speaker wire. But I did put grommets. That was what took the longest time, was putting grommets in here. And then redoing these doors to hold the speakers. Taking all these doors off again. I put a bunch of scratches in them and nicks like that there. And that there at the end, but whatever. It's a rat rod. We'll live with it. So yeah, very pleased. So, as usual, like, subscribe, follow along. I think we're gonna get this windshield in here next. Rest of the interior is ready. I just gotta fix those turn signals, and the hazards do work. I don't know why for some reason the turn signal light, where's the hazard button at, folks? Is on when they're not on. And that side isn't on, but you know what, I would've had to drop the transmission cable again to get the speedo out, to get the lights, so we're just gonna live without that. And we'll figure that out. So anyways, stay tuned, like, subscribe, follow along, and we'll see what comes next for this old girl. We're getting real close to some engine work.